Hey guys, good morning. It's like Saturday morning here on the Gold Coast of Australia, and I was thinking about a couple of things this morning and my journey and what's been going on over the last few years since I left my corporate career. And I want to talk this morning about the identity crisis. And this is an identity crisis you're going to have, and the identity crisis that happened to me. So what the heck am I talking about? So if I think back to when I had my banking career, so very successful in there, got to a point where I was a regional manager. And what was really interesting was the fact that when people ask me, so what do you do? I used to be really, really proud to say that I was a regional manager for a bank. And I was proud to say that, and I felt as though I had actually achieved something. I'd got somewhere. And then as time obviously went on and I had the opportunity to leave the, at times, not always, but safe constraints of my corporate career, and I stepped out into my own business, I went through this massive identity crisis. Not that anything necessarily was going on the outside, but on the inside, it was like, whoa, what am I now? Who am I? You know, when people used to ask me, what is it that I do? And who am I? I used to be able to answer that really quickly and really easily. But when I stepped into my own consulting business, I found it really difficult to tell people what I did. And I look back and think, well, maybe that was because I didn't really see that it was, did it have that much significance? Did I really believe that I was helping people? Was I really somebody? Nobody had given me permission to be this particular, to have my own business or to be helping other people in their business, etc. So I didn't know how to explain really what I was doing. So it wasn't until I spent a lot of time I suppose thinking about what was going on, why was I having this identity crisis? Why did I think that I was not worthy at that time to be doing what I was doing? And I hadn't given myself a label. And not that you need to have a label because they actually mean nothing at all. But because I had been in a corporate career that had labelled me a regional manager and somebody who had a level of expertise, knowledge, and I suppose power to a degree, I felt like I was someone. But then stepping out and doing my own thing, you kind of didn't really have that. So what did I have to do? These are the key things that I had to do that really helped me to understand what my new identity was and how I could shift myself quickly out of having an identity crisis and into, hey Shell, and into really owning who I was and what I was doing. So the first thing was having to deciding that this was for me, this is what I was going to do, that there was no looking back, that I was here to serve people at the highest level, and then understanding who is it that I was actually going to serve, what pain were they currently in, and how was I going to help them get to a result that they were looking for. And when I really understood what those two things were, that really helped me to understand, who am I? What is my new identity? What is it that I'm going to be doing? How am I going to help people? What platforms am I going to do that with, etc., etc. So if you are somebody who is thinking about leaving your corporate career, I want to give you a heads up. And the heads up is that you're going to go through this. You are going to have this really uncomfortable time of not really knowing who you are or what you're doing. And that is because you've been conditioned to a certain way of thinking, a certain way of doing inside your corporate constraints, I call them now. Obviously, there would have been a whole lot of really great experiences that you had there, and the skills and experience that you learnt in your corporate career are going to hold you in really good stead moving forward. But you won't really understand that until a few months into your journey. So the things that you need to do is get you some help as fast as you possibly can. Get yourself a coach to help you overcome all of that. Understand who it is that you're going to serve. Understand what it is that you really want out of life. What is it that you're trying to build? What sort of business? What will this business look like in 12 months' time? Because if you start building something that is going to take you off track and not aligned with your values, you're going to find that it's going to become really uncomfortable and really difficult to unwind further down the track. So these are some of the things that I've learned over time that I want to share with you guys, so that it gives you a heads up so you can start to address them, identify these things when they come up, and you can do something about them really, really quickly. So anyway, this is how you kind of shift yourself through that identity crisis, and giving yourself permission and making that decision to do what it is that really, lights your fire, and taking the skills and knowledge that you already have to make that happen, finding your tribe and your alignment in the market, and putting yourself right in the middle of that, so that it makes it really, really easy for your kind of people to find you. And then all of a sudden, you've got this beautiful opportunity where you've found your passion, your purpose, and you're in alignment with what it is that you want to do. So anyway, that's my little story about how kind of this identity crisis that I went through, and it was very, very real, and I thought, what the hell is happening with me? But that's how I moved through it. So once you get clarity, you decide, you get absolute clarity, and you're crystal clear on what it is that you're wanting to do, everything will become so much easier, and it makes it very, very easy for your ideal client to find you. I'm going to go on a completely side note now, because I see that Shelley's on line with me, and a couple of weeks ago when I was over in Phoenix, Shell, you were asking me about traffic and how you can drive traffic to your website. When I went over to Phoenix, I thought I was actually going over there to learn a lot of tactics around how to do this, and it was really, really interesting, because Russell Brunson didn't teach the tactics. And the reason he said he didn't teach the tactics, and I totally get and understand this, is that once you start learning the tactics, you get really, really embedded and down a rabbit hole of, what have I got to do? I've got to learn this process. I've got to learn Facebook advertising, Instagram. I've got to learn, YouTube and Pinterest in your case, and so on and so forth. And it can become extremely overwhelming. The key is not to try and learn everything about everything. What you have to do is find the people that know those things. So you find something. So if it's Pinterest that is going to be your place for marketing your business, you'll find somebody who's really good at Pinterest, hire them, get them to do it. If it's Facebook, then hire somebody in Facebook and get them to do that piece for you. The part that you need to work on, Shell, is the strategic stuff. So outsource or get a team of people to help you with all the tactical stuff, and you work absolutely on the strategic stuff. And when I talk about strategic, he was very much talking about find your voice and get yourself a platform to share your knowledge and your information. So your beautiful jewelry and all of your beautiful clothing, I would highly recommend that you start doing Facebook Lives like this. Showcase all of your goodies, all of the amazing things that you do. And this goes for any of you guys. So any kind of business you have, whether it's service related or you've got a product, you need to be present, you need to be consistent, you need to be sharing your message and your information through forums and platforms like this. If you're not comfortable being on video, it doesn't matter. Find another platform. So if you're good at writing, do it in blogs and put imagery of your products or services. If it's, if you're good at talking, jump on, set yourself up a podcast. You also want to be thinking about who else is in your market or who else has your target audience. So for example, you would have heard about like influencer marketing. So you want to think about who else is serving your dream customers and get yourself aligned with them. So you might invite them onto your podcast and get them to talk about how they've grown their business or their brand. Talk about what your brand actually means to you. What is the origin of your story? How is it that you came to be doing what you're doing? So in jewelry, if you're doing jewelry and you're doing apparel and that sort of stuff, why did you decide that that's what you were going to do? There is always a story behind the reason that you're doing what you're doing now. So you need to get out there and start telling your story. These were some of the things that Russell spoke about, and these are the things that, hey Wendy, these are the things that he has found. And Wendy, who's online with us right now, so she's in my Two Comma Club X group, and she was at Phoenix with me last week, and she will attest to the fact that publishing is your channel to be able to get your message and your information out there, and making sure that people are aware of what it is that you do and how you do it. Once they get to see your products and services, they start to know you, like you, trust you, they are more likely to do business with you. And if they can understand why it is that you do what you do, or why it is that you make a particular type of jewelry shell, or you've made a particular type of product, then they are more likely to resonate with you, and it will be the emotion that sells your product and or service. So telling stories is extremely important, but also having your offer. So whilst I was over there, Shelley, I was thinking about you. And a couple of the other guys that are from my hometown live back in New Zealand. And there's quite a few people who have started their own business. So what I want to do is I want to do a live webinar with you guys, and I'll take you through some of the stuff that I've learned. I'll put together some templates for you, and I'll show you how this is done so that you can actually go away and you can implement this in your business. If this is something that you guys are interested in doing, can you please just, I don't want to do it if no one's going to show up, but if it's of interest to you, can you please just comment in the comment section. Doesn't matter if you're on this live or if it's replay, just hashtag replay and say yes please, and I'll make sure that I get a link out to you guys next week so that you guys can join. I'll have Q&A time so you can ask any questions, and I'll share with you everything that I know. If you're not from my hometown, no big deal. Jump on anyway, just comment that you would love to do that, and I'll make sure I get some information to you, and you can jump on a webinar and I'll share that info with you. So I look forward to seeing you, Shell. I was thinking about you and a number of other people. Justin Hing, if he's not on this live, he needs to be, because I was also thinking about his business whilst I was over there. So got heaps of stuff to share with you, and I would love to. Renata, you need to jump on that webinar too, because I know you've been hanging around for a while and you haven't quite made it onto one of my webinars. So I want to make sure that you get there and you get this information, because I think you are a little sleeping unicorn that needs to share your skills and knowledge too. So anyway, that's my offer for you guys today. Type in the comment section, yes please, and I will know that you're keen to jump on a webinar with me. I'll schedule it for next week, and I'll get the messaging out to you guys and let you know when it's on. And if you know anybody else that you think would benefit from understanding, they've probably got a business right now and they want to understand how to grow their audience and drive traffic to their business, then get them onto my webinar, and I will share this information. It will be absolutely free, and I will share as much as I possibly can. And in the meantime, if you also want to type in the comment section in here, so you type yes please first so I know that you want to come, and then secondly, any questions that you have, type them in the comment section so I will get prepared to answer any of those on the webinar. But anyway, we kind of digressed. I started talking about the identity crisis that you're going to have and that I had, and all of a sudden we're on a different tangent, which quite often happens, and that was because Shell happened to be on the live right now, and I felt like that this was the right thing to do for her. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have a fantastic Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you guys, for those of you that are going to join me next week on my webinar. Make sure you get your Q&As into the comment section so I can make sure that I hit all of your questions, and I can do some research if I don't know the answer to them before I get on the call. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys absolutely fly in your business, and here's to living a life unlocked, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. See ya.